Good morning, Big Square Road to Ruta.com with your morning horn of Z's, your sip of coffee. Litecoin. Boom! Yeah. Why is Litecoin moving? Because it's undervalued. Why is it undervalued? Because has turned into the number one means of exchange in the crypto community space. Why is that important? Because the banks are about to wobble again, and we need an alternative. Litecoin would be the best thing. Not many people argue against that. Maybe Roger. That Litecoin would be the best thing to take over if and when the old banking system fails. And you think that's a big deal? I've spent the last 20 years fighting this fight. And in the gold and silver days, it was always going back to some sort of gold and silver standing or gold and silver backing. But it was pretty clear in 2008 when the banking system failed that gold and silver would not be returning as a means of exchange to humanity. First of all, vast majority of people have absolutely either never even heard of it or have forgotten about it or don't see the need. The old system just works fine. So then Satoshi came out with a white paper, and voila! Finally, we had a potential solution to the biggest problem facing humanity, and that's the unbacked fiat monetary system controlled by a centralized elite banking cabal, as I call them, the bad guys. So is it a big deal? Yes. Do we know why Litecoin just jumped 8% in the last 24 hours? Not exactly. Could it be that Litecoin is massively undervalued? Litecoin should be at least 4-to-1 with Bitcoin. And Bitcoin hovering around $8,000, that means Litecoin should be $2,000. And I know for a lot of people, no, it can't be. Price suppression is a very powerful thing. And the realization that Litecoin is undervalued, it takes some people some time to get it because they really don't understand the precarious monetary system we are swimming in right now. And Litecoin might not be the first solution when the banks fail next time and Steve Mnuchin has to go to Congress for a $20 trillion bailout. But it will definitely be in the discussions with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. It will be in the discussions as a potential solution to this huge problem. And the huge problem's coming. And it has to happen because we need a creative destruction event to get rid of the old guys, to wipe out all debt and start fresh. That debt was, almost all debt was created in insane ways out of thin air. And then, when you think about the bankers given the legal authority to trade in markets and control markets and rig markets, when they're giving a distinct advantage in the very fact that they can create money out of thin air for free, it's a rigged system. When your cost of capital is zero and all your competitors are using real money that they have their blood, sweat, and tears in, the people with the free money that can rig markets up, down, sideways at no limitations on how much they can dump onto a derivative market in gold, silver, or cryptos, or oil, or FX, or bonds, you name it. So yeah, bankers should not be in any markets trading. The bankers should not even be around, if you ask me. Lending would be great, but creating money out of thin air and diluting the money supply, no, that's not great. And that's where most of the money comes from, is the creation at the bank level, not the Federal Reserve level, but the bank level, where they leverage 10-to-1. They get $100 in, they can lend out $1,000. That's the $1,000 created into the system. And where do they put that money? They gamble it, because bankers are greedy. And Greenspan knew that back in the 90s. That's why he fought for no regulation on derivatives. It was the rope give the bankers enough rope to hang themselves, and they absolutely have. Quadrillions of dollars in derivatives are floating around. So you ask why? Why did my God? Why did Litecoin go up 8%? It's undervalued as a means of exchange, and it's going to be the right place at the right time. We're all hoping. Or the alternative of why Litecoin jumped 8% is this. Me and John Kim in the greenhouse. Yes, we have the power to move markets. Um, yeah, check out a post I put up yesterday afternoon. Discussions with my friend John Kim. I'd met John Kim once at the Litecoin Summit last year. Briefly. I mean, it was a huge crowd. I don't even know if we got introduced, truthfully. But he spent 24 hours with me and my wife this weekend. Amazing human being, amazing guy. You cut his arm and he'll bleed Litecoin blue. Extremely smart about what's going on and the vision of Charlie, of where he wants Litecoin to go, and of John, where John wants Litecoin to go. John's traveling the world now, spreading the Litecoin message. He's an honest guy. He's a incredibly motivating guy too. Both my wife and I were blown away. And when you invite a stranger over, to me, it's, hey, no problem. I used to do it all the time. My buddies would sleep on my couch. But my wife was like, do we know John? Like, not really. We have friends who have friends. So she was a little, all right, but it's going to feel weird. Literally instantly when he walked into the door, they were best buddies. And as he's leaving, she's all, does he have to leave so soon? Can he stay longer? It was awesome. It was a great time. And go check out that discussion in the greenhouse. And John's hooking me up with Charlie for an interview. We're trying to get it done today. We'll see. Charlie's got a busy schedule. And obviously, there's a lot more going on in Litecoin right now. There's just a lot happening. So hopefully we can get that discussion going, and I get a chance to talk to Charlie about all kinds of things. Probably won't even talk price, really. Not really that interested in that. When you're talking to Charlie Lee, I want to get a better idea of the all around future for Litecoin and where it's going, because I do see 4-to-1. I see, think 4-to-1 when Bitcoin's at 100,000. You're talking $25,000 Litecoin. So is Litecoin a buy right now? Absolutely. Absolutely. Should you put your whole bag into it right now? No. I mean, if you're just coming into cryptos and you got $1,000 to spend, I would put a significant portion into Litecoin, but I wouldn't put it all in at the same time. Dollar cost average. Just keep. What I tell people to do is, if you want to get in, you're gonna buy at the top. It's just the way it goes. And then you have to get your stripes by having it crash. And then if you can hodl long enough, you'll be fine. I've been saying that for 5 years now. If you can hodl long enough, you'll be fine. If you're a trader, wow, this is a great environment. There's massive moves up, down, and sideways. But if you're just getting into it, don't trade. Put 50% in when you get your FOMO out of the way, and then put another 10%, 10%, 10% over a spaced amount of time. And then, or do smaller amounts and just, put 5% in once a week. That way, at the end of the day, you're gonna get a nice even acquisition cost. But yeah, I do see. Absolutely, I think we're in the bull run now, and I do think Litecoin will be the number one mover for various reasons. And we're seeing that, I think, today is a good sign. Over the last, throughout the year, Litecoin's been one of the best moving cryptos out there, which is great. And it's solid, and it's run by solid people. Well, not run by. It's not really run by anybody. Obviously, Charlie is still involved, even though he divested himself of Litecoin for various reasons. I think that for the Litecoin investor, the best reason is that he won't be part of any kind of SEC investigation. And they've said that. They said they said it about Vitalik when they said, well, it probably was a security when it first came out, but now that Vitalik's not the main guy there, really, there's the programmers, there's the foundation, all this stuff. He's not. He's clean. Litecoin, Charlie knew long ago that you don't want the centralization, and that's the key. You don't want the centralization of any coin to one person or one entity. And so, yeah, there's a lot of us out there. Charlie created the football. That's what I said in the interview yesterday. Charlie created the football, and a lot of people have taken that ball or taken it to the goal line. John Kim is probably absolutely besides Charlie, the number one guy moving it forward. The Litecoin Foundation, absolutely moving it forward. I'm moving it forward. All the Litecoin family, Litecoin Lisa, Ben, all the East Coast Litecoin, West Coast Litecoin. I mean, it is a family. It's a community. And we're all taking the ball that Charlie created and running that thing forward. And I think it's awesome. And that kind of attitude and that kind of momentum behind a crypto will be reflected in the price, and that's what we're starting to see now. You want to be involved with solid people and solid projects. So yeah, very good times for Litecoin, and I think they will continue to be very good times for Litecoin as the bull market progresses. All right, other cryptos, other things going on. Bitcoin keeps hovering around the 8,000. Doesn't really want to break it, but then it will break it and come back. And technical guys, well, BIX is not 8,000. It's 8,123. Okay, fine. So tech traders, that's what they're looking for. And remember that the big manipulators love to fleece the tech traders. We've seen it in silver for 20 years. Probably more than 20 years, but 20 years that I've been watching it. So yeah, keep an eye on manipulation. Keep an eye on Bitcoin is going to do great. I mean, the whole world will be waking up. The big money is waking up now. And remember, we haven't even got to the backed announcement. And I think one of the best announcements that is coming and laws that will be passed is that true cryptocurrencies, as in like Bitcoin and Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash and Digibyte, true cryptocurrencies to be used as a currency will become untaxable. They will pass laws so that there's no tax on Bitcoin or Litecoin transactions. I think that'll be a huge bump for those cryptocurrencies because you can't have a tax if you're going to use it as money. And there's already laws either in the works or about to be in the works in the U.S. saying just that cryptocurrencies will have no taxation, whereas other tokens related to a business or a platform, I don't know about a platform. That's kind of the iffy area, but definitely related to business will have capital gains tax. So you might see a bump in just with one law being passed. What's capital gains tax these days? I don't even know, 25% or something. You might see a bump of 25%. One way or the other. Either the altcoins go down, the tokens related to businesses. I don't think so. It'll be more like Bitcoin, Litecoin, the cryptocurrencies will get a nice bump because people factor in taxation on the investment side. So that would be something really good. Looking forward to that. EOS still can't get out of its own way. You guys know my thoughts on EOS. I think it's highly centralized. And so did Satoshi when he's talking to Dan Larimer back in the day. Satoshi, you never heard Satoshi get angry until he was talking to Dan Larimer. He didn't get angry. He just said, hey, if you don't get it, if you don't understand what we're talking about decentralization, I don't have time to explain it to you. I love that. I love that comment by Satoshi. And it's starting to reflect. Again, we did the analysis with Litecoin. We said the great people, here's a great idea, here's a great community, and all the great things. EOS was exactly the opposite. There's bad people, there's bad juju in there. And we're starting to see, it kind of falling apart. Here's a article on Hacked. EOS price slides as serious concerns over centralization grows. EOS price declined on Sunday, falling in line with the broader cryptocurrency market after a failed rally attempt at the end of last week gave rise to bearish sentiment. The enterprise operating system, that is not that's not what EOS stands for. I guess you can use whatever you want, and that's what they said in the beginning. You can use whatever you want. I know what it stands for. Was in the headlines this weekend after the Florida-based Weiss ratings agency downgraded the platform over centralization concerns. EOS price. The EOS price extended to the downside on Sunday, falling 2.9% to $6.21, according to CoinMarketCap. Cryptocurrency has hovered within a fairly stable trading range since Tuesday, but is trading well below its yearly peak, since hitting a high of $8.59 on June 1st. The enterprise operating system, EOS, has declined almost 28%. The unwinding of EOS's price over the past 9 days has pushed the cryptocurrency into sixth spot behind Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin. Okay, here's the issue, according to these guys. Despite the pullback, the long-term view of EOS remains bullish following the successful breach of $6 back in May. Resistance turns support, that's all text stuff. EOS centralization problem. Weiss Rating, the first rating agency to publicly evaluate blockchain projects, has downgraded EOS due to, quote, serious problems with centralization. The rating agency said Block One, the company behind EOS, failed to address these concerns at its most recent industry conference in Washington, D.C., where it announced plans to launch a new social media platform. On Weiss's website, EOS still boasts a solid technology adoption grade, scoring A-. Absolutely. It's solid technology. It's just flawed in that the technology, the concept is flawed. It's centralized. The EOS platform was previously ranked among the top 3 cryptocurrency projects, alongside Bitcoin and XRP. EOS's problem with centralization is a multifaceted one. The platform caps block producers at 21, the number of implementations at 1, and the manner in which coins are distributed. As Forbes pointed out last August, EOS is in almost every way more centralized than Ethereum. That being said, the case for EOS is worthy of serious thought. The fact that Block One managed to raise $4 billion during the year-long EOS crowd sale proves that markets are putting a high premium on usability, performance, and scalability. That is not true. That ICO was complete fraud. You had Tether being created, which is controlled by Block One, to buy Bitcoin, and Ethereum to buy EOS. They promised an audit. And never gave an audit. And even in the promise to audit, the audit promise was we wouldn't recirculate the funds. They lied again. So yeah, I am not surprised at all, and most of you who follow the road to Ruta have gone down this road with me. I don't trust the people who are involved, and I don't trust the fact that 21 people get to collude every week on a conference call to decide if Road to Ruta gets axed from their blockchain, or my wallet's frozen, or just even worse, the worst of all worst, shadow ban, where they take your transaction, they slow it down and make it fail, or things like that. And they can do that if they all collude together, which they are. Now, they're colluding. They have like weekly conference calls. Of course, they're all colluding together. And who are they? They're mostly the people from Block One and Bitfinex, who are owned by the same people. So that was always my argument, and it is being proven out in price action, I believe, these days. But we'll see. Do I think there's a place for EOS? Sure. The software's out there and it's real fast. Anything you don't have to trust the system, like CryptoKitties would be perfect for EOS. Stuff like that, where you don't have a big monetary stake and you don't mind if, there's a centralized group of people who get to decide who gets to play. Then EOS should be should show value in that area. That's my take. Anyway, if you want more, go to roadtoruta.com. And if you want the real good stuff, along with the Patreon stuff, if you want Patreon, go to Patreon, Road to Ruta, Patreon Road to Ruta. And if you want both Patreon and the private road, go to roadtorudo.com. Top section. By the way, all this is free information at the top, and there's a ton of it. And there's music. There's the Litecoin is the right coin song is right on the front page. That's last year when Charlie came to the Ruda's pre-summit event, and we sang him. Dick Allgaier and myself and Jason Four serenaded Charlie, and John Kemp was there as well. We're going to do this again in Vegas next year, October 27th. It's going to be awesome, and we'll see if Litecoin's booming by then, which I think it will be. It'll be the party of all parties. We will have live music. We'll have meet and greets with all your friends from our area. Bitcoin Ben will be there. Snippy. Dick Allgaier keeps sending me songs. We got to do this one. We got to do this one. So we're going to be working on a whole bunch of new tunes. I will be performing the Freedom Roadshow, all my crypto songs. I think I got 11 or 12 of them. Woohoo! And talking about Litecoin and cryptos and freedom and liberty and breaking away from the past and moving forward into the future. Very exciting stuff. So go to roadtorudo.com and subscribe today. This is Big Weir. I will talk to you guys later.